Hey everyone, this is Matt with Surf City TCG. If you're new to my channel, I specialize in EDH/Commander content for bracket 3, top of the line, optimized Commander decks, typically with no infinite combos. I'm back today with one of my complete coaching session videos. So here it is for you in its entirety. If this is something that you would be interested in, you can contact me directly on Discord. My handle there is SurfCityTCG, or the link to my Discord is in the video description and comments below. Alternatively, check out my Patreon for more info on how to book one of these sessions. So without further ado, here it is. Enjoy! Welcome to my coaching session. Thanks for setting this up with me. Why don't you just start off by telling me a little bit about yourself, what you're looking for out of this session.
Yeah, so this deck was honestly one of my favorites and one of my bests whenever I first started playing. I think Isshin was the second commander I ever built.
Okay.
And it's just like fallen off a lot in the past few years just because I've kind of haphazardly thrown in cards that, kind of fit with the theme and didn't really give
Yeah.
much thought to how it's affecting, the analytics of it, like the curve and all that.
Sure.
So it's gotten to the point where I kind of do not want to play it anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm also thinking about entering this one into a bracket 3 tournament.
Yep.
So that's why I told you get as high as you can in bracket 3 while still staying within the confines of the rules.
Great. So that is perfect. I think that makes a ton of sense. And yeah, it sucks when like one of your favorite decks just you don't ever want to pick it up. That's not a good thing. So I at least want the goal to be for it to be fun again. So I
Yep.
think that's a good starting point. So I want to I put an agenda here, but I don't know, I hesitate to say I want to wing it because every time I try to wing it, I go way too long. So I
Hmm.
want to at least give a rough overview of like how long I think we should spend on each of these items based on the conversation we've had so far.
Yeah.
Please um, tell me if you feel like you want to emphasize or de-emphasize anything based on that, and then I'm going to set a timer and try to keep us to time. And I tend to like talk and talk and talk. So feel free to interrupt me anytime and don't feel bad about that because you kind of will have to. So sorry
All
in
right.
advance.
Yep. No
Okay.
worries.
So I want to talk about what the commander does. I know that you're very familiar with that, but I still want to like do that for the
Hmm.
purposes of like understanding what we want the deck to look like and what we want our goals to be. I don't know if you saw any of the other coaching videos, but I do want to spend a few minutes doing a SWOT analysis, which is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats, because again, I think it will inform us to understand like how to best make this guy do his thing.
Hmm.
And then I want to jump into your deck list. I don't want to spend like a ton of time looking at your current list. Exactly what I think I want to do is I want to show you quickly how to use packages because I think that is something I haven't shared on video or any of my guides before. And I think it will be really helpful for you. And I'm going to show you like how I mean, what I asked you earlier was like, do you want me to build the deck for you in advance, which is what I've typically done in the past, or do you want to just walk through it together? And you said you'd prefer the latter, so I think we're
Yep.
just going to do that. And then I definitely want to leave time at the end for Mulligan practice, not only because you thought it was important, but I do too. So we have 90 minutes. What I'm thinking is that I'd love to dedicate 30 to Mulligan practice, maybe 25 or something after we make the changes. So I
Yeah.
want to try to get through these first two items in like 10, 15 minutes max. And then this will be really fast packages. And then
Yep.
spend like the majority of the time up to 60 minutes making changes, these three items, and then wrap up with Mulligan practice and questions. What do you think
Sounds
about
good to
that?
me.
That sounds all reasonable.
Yep. Perfect.
All right, let's do it. So what does Isshin do? He's two heavens as one, whatever that means. 3 mana, red, white, black. So Mardu, very aggressive color combination, which obviously makes sense here. Human samurai, so that might matter. I know that there's some samurai things that could come into play here, but I'm guessing we're probably not really going to want to focus on that. If attacking causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. If a creature attacking, and this is an important distinction, it's not just your creatures, but also any creature attacking. So I can't think of things off the top of my head, but I'm sure you know at least a couple where if
Oh yeah.
opponents' creatures attack you, the one that I remember specifically that's really good because I've run into it a bunch of times is the one that gives you Monarch, and then when opponents attack you, if you're the Monarch, it burns them for like number
Yep.
of cards in their hand.
Ember
Yeah,
Wild
that
counter.
card's nuts. Like it's such a pain in the ass when you're playing against Isshin when they have that. Because you're like,
Hmm.
oh, I could attack you, take Monarch, and take 14. Like, I don't think so. Like, I'm willing to pay
Yeah.
life for card draw, but not that much. So anyway, that's an important part of the commander here. So let's just jump straight into the SWOT analysis. And I want to just go with you together and throw things out here, try to get through this
Hmm.
fairly quickly. So this is just brainstorming. There's no right or wrong. So I just want to throw as many things out as we can think of for strengths. So why don't you start us off with one?
Yeah, so I think Ishin's biggest strength, and the one that I kind of built my first deck list off of, is that this whole philosophy of the deck plan not being totally 100% reliant on Ishin. Um, he's more of an accelerator rather than a integral part of the deck
Mm-hmm.
because attack trigger strategies are going to be powerful, and Ishin being there just you know sp- speeds it up twofold.
Yeah, great one because commanders that are critical to the game plan, sometimes you just have a non-game if it just happens that board wipes hit at the wrong time and you're like, okay, well, my commander died twice in 3 turns. Like, what do I do now? Especially in these colors where, if you're past it costing 5 mana, you're in big trouble. So
Yeah.
great one. I mean, I think an obvious one is he's a trigger doubler. I mean, like, this is not a
Yep.
strength, it's like what he does, but like, I think it's still worth noting here. Um, I'll throw another one. He's got like good to great stats for his cost. So
Yeah.
like a pretty
Three,
big
four
butt.
for
4
free.
toughness is
Yeah.
nice, right? What else? Some.
I think there's a huge selection of cards we have to work
Yep.
with because a lot of stuff has attack triggers.
Yep. Good colors and tons of options. Uh-huh.
Um,
Go ahead.
I mean, like you said, I don't think we're going to lean into the human samurai
Mm-hmm.
creature type. Um, so I wouldn't really consider that a strength per se, but I guess if we are going to put some tribal, human is a good type
Well,
to
yeah,
have.
human's great. It's actually not like nothing because if you play a roaming throne, it's nice because tons of other
Yeah.
humans that are going to be benefiting here, right? Human is
Yeah.
great type. Anything else?
None that I can think of right now.
Okay.
I think we hit all the main ones.
Weaknesses. Hit me.
Um, okay, so the biggest one I would say, at least for me, is Mardu is within the Mardu color identity. I think it lacks the two best colors in Commander, blue and green.
Okay.
Um, so, I
Sure.
don't know about the worst colors, but it's definitely lacking the
Well,
two best.
you said not the best.
Right,
The
yeah.
if we're to assume the other two are the best, which I don't know if I agree with, but I kind of agree with. I like black personally, but red is definitely the worst, and I think white is probably close second. So I
Hmm.
agree, but 3 colors still is great. So
Yeah,
even if we built like a mono black Isshin deck, we could, right?
yeah,
That's this is a weakness we can cope with, but they all should be. Um,
yeah.
what else? I guess no protection is one I think of.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even think of that.
Hmm.
How about at least whenever I was playing it, I noticed that haste is imperative for the game plan that I originally had, where I would consistently, I guess this kind of falls under no protection as well. I consistently lose creatures before they could attack.
Okay, good.
Um, Aggro
Uh,
decks, personally, I find difficult to play. I'm much more of
Yeah.
a Timmy, personally.
Yeah,
So
100%. I mean, especially at bracket three, aggro decks are like nearly impossible to play. There are these memes that it's like, oh, aggro is so face roll and like whatever. It's I think the complete opposite. Aggro is so hard to play and so punishing of mistakes too. Is you're really operating on razor thin margins in terms of succeeding or not,
yeah,
and there's a lot working against you. So I think if we were to elaborate on why it's hard to play an aggro deck, I mean, like there's 120 life you have to get through, right?
yeah,
Right, to win, and you don't win unless you don't necessarily have to deal all that damage because people damage themselves and like whatever. There's other players hitting each other, but it's just tough to win with an attacking strategy,
yeah,
especially when removal is becoming very efficient. The nice thing is that we're also getting a lot of good aggressive options in terms of attackers and extra combats and stuff. So I think, that's one thing we should probably list as a strength
oh yeah,
or
extra
extra
combats.
amplified, right?
Yeah,
So extra combats are already good in attacking decks, and they're extra good in this deck because you've got a doubler in the command zone.
hmm
Um, Another inherent like thing that I would list underneath aggro decks are hard is that they're hard because you have to immediately become sort of the aggressor.
yeah,
Like it, there's a lot of games where people are like happy to sit there and just develop and like do whatever. And if there's one player just bugging them with attackers, a lot of players aren't as like long term in their thinking. So they'll be
hmm
like, oh, this gnat is bothering me, like kill it. And
yeah, definitely.
that's not necessarily the right decision, but it's hard to argue when you're just like hitting them in the face. So potentially makes enemies.
Yeah, kind of puts a target, especially if I play some really powerful attack trigger like Aurelia or a
Yep.
really powerful one, and then people see, holy shit, this is gonna be doubled. I gotta do something about that.
Yeah. So and this kind of goes with what you said about haste, but like a lot of your plans are a little telegraphed.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a really good one. Anything else?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so opportunities and threats, I like to start off by building off the strengths for opportunities and the weaknesses for threats. So I think like if we look at each of these and try to figure out the corresponding opportunity, it's a good place to start. So
hmm
the plan is not fully reliant on Isshin. He's an accelerator versus, why isn't this wrapping? Okay, whatever. Versus a requirement. What is that? What opportunity does that give us potentially?
Um, I think it gives us the opportunity to wait on casting Isshin
Mm-hmm.
because we can set up a plan before Isshin comes in and swings.
Exactly
Maybe
what I
not
was
for the
thinking.
kill,
Like
but
we can slow play Ishin, and
yeah,
if even if we don't, and he's removed, we can operate anyway.
yeah,
So it gives us options, right? Like early game options, and that's very powerful for an aggressive deck to have options because that's you know a lot of times it's going to feel like a puzzle getting to the right path, and that puzzle is going to involve elements of curve and like all that stuff that you would expect, but also politics and various other things that are harder to manage from a strategic perspective, if that makes sense.
yeah. Gotcha.
um, okay, so that's which gives us options. Trigger doubler, I mean obviously like Raider Shack
Yeah,
triggers, like this one's no brainer. Well, another thing is, oh, that's not a trigger doubler. I should be specific here.
yeah.
Um,
There are
Trigger
a few cards that care about
adder.
that too.
Because I was about to say, like, a trigger doubler uh, does mean that, anyway, it's not applicable. I was going to say, like, it does mean that if we got another trigger doubler, we can have a quadratic, like,
Yeah.
opportunity, but anyway, not applied. Great stats, who cares? Doesn't matter. I mean, like, I guess before I skip over this, power / toughness doublers are more
Oh
effective,
yeah. Yeah.
right?
I was gonna say he
When
survives a lightning bolt.
yeah, but that doesn't give us any opportunity except to.
Yeah.
I, I mean, like, it kind of does. I suppose if there's a common, I don't feel like there's a common board wipe that is damage based. Like Anger of the Gods is one I can think of off the top of my head, but I don't think I ever see anyone playing that card except me.
Yeah.
Same with like Double Strike potentially.
Yep.
Colors, whatever, human. So I guess we can look at like human synergies. Extra combats. So what
I mean, I
opportunity?
think extra combats can win the game,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it's so amplified.
I think so. Yeah. So like, okay, and threats. So being in the worst colors. Um, yeah, I don't know if there's like anything here. So the threat of having no protection is that frequent removal.
Yeah.
And then I guess like this also affords us an opportunity in terms of like, white's got some great protection, and we probably want to look at other. So one thing I think of when I think of protection is, obviously stuff like Teferi's protection and like things like that. But what I also think of is in white, especially, you've got silence effects like Grand Abolisher and whatever that new one's called, and just the spell silence.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
these things really can set you up for a turn where, yeah, it's scary, but no one can do anything about it because you just slam this thing down and they're like, oh no, I have to deal with that, or I don't have any other option. And I think another thing, I'm going to jump ahead just because I'm thinking of it now, about plans being telegraphed, is an opportunity based on that is that what if we play an extra turn spell? Now we're not in blue, but red has some extra turn spells. I don't know if you're familiar with them. They're a little like all in, but hey, that's what we're doing, right? Like,
Yeah.
so,
The,
because if we end up getting an infinite in here, and I think there's a couple, so we'll look at those. But if we could set up an infinite, but it's going to take us 2 turns to do, then spending 2 mana on a Final Fortune is not looking so bad anymore because we're about to win anyway.
okay. Yeah.
I
never thought about taking it that way, but yeah.
Yeah, so we'll look at that. Threats, frequent removal, haste is critical. So a big threat I think of when I see a deck relying on haste is blind obedience and authority of the consoles. I hate these stupid cards, but they're played all over the place because they're really good.
Yep.
So we want ways to deal with these if possible because they're pretty detrimental to the deck. Aggro decks are hard, so we want to think about slowing down strategically.
Yeah.
And also being political where it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing, I mentioned this in the last coaching video I did when I was talking to Dave, and I think explaining what you're doing sometimes is really helpful when you're attacking someone. Even if you say something like, well, I'm an attacking deck, I just have to attack, like it takes a little bit of the pressure off, and I don't know why anyone would take it personally, but some people do. And at least if you explain your thought process, it can be helpful, I think. So that's something to keep in mind when you're playing an aggressive deck. Okay. I don't think there's that much else to add here. This is a pretty simple commander. So anything you want to throw on before we move forward?
I don't think so. We pretty much covered everything.
Okay. We can always
least
come
that
back
I
to
would-
this if we need to. For this section, I just want to talk about, like, can you tell me, you've played this deck a lot, right?
Yes.
ha, what is like what does a perfect like curve out look like? And
Yeah.
I don't necessarily want you to give me specific cards, though you can. I just want to know like what are you mulliganing for? Like how do the first four turns look in a perfect world? And there can be like two or three different answers to this, but what do you think of when I ask that question?
I guess I would. So turn one, land,
Hmm.
a one drop.
Okay.
Um, then, and I'm not going off of like soul. Obviously, Soul Ring is ideal, but
Yeah,
you
no,
know,
we'll
yeah.
yeah, skip that.
Turn two. Hopefully, I guess you can add this to the turn one. One drop that makes mana would be ideal. Um,
Interesting.
Ragavan is the first thing that comes to mind.
First and only.
Um,
I
maybe.
guess there's,
uh,
yeah, I don't know if there are others. Go ahead.
Two land. Um, I think this is a pretty linear. I think
Yeah,
my perfect is pretty linear. So land two drop,
that's fine. That's good. Okay.
land three drop. That is, I guess, not Isshin because I do like the idea of slow playing Isshin.
Okay. So
Um,
when do you, so I guess like, I guess we'll come to this later, but like, if you don't have a turn three play that isn't Ishin, do you run him out anyway?
yes,
Okay.
hesitantly though,
Okay.
just
So,
because I
so
know he's gonna have a target.
So this is great to establish though, because you know what I would normally do is look at a three drop commander and be like, okay, we want to minimize our three drop slot because we want Ishin to be our three drop. But in this case, that's not true. So I think it's really important that we establish this, and then when we're looking at the curve, we can say, okay, because threes are normally like the second highest value after twos,
Hmm.
at least I think in a solid list. So this is good to know. I guess what, so it might be that rather than looking at a type of card, since like this is just a deck that's looking to curve out, um, or where do mana rocks fit in? Like, is there a, are you playing mana rocks, and is there a different scenario aside from this one you've laid out that involves mana rocks that you like, that you found plays well?
Yeah, I get so turn one. I think turn one would be the same in that
Yeah.
scenario. But turn two would be land two drop
Hmm.
followed by a one drop. So
Okay.
like with an arcane signet, um, I realize that
Okay.
that's going to be, we're going to have to go heavy on the one drops in that case.
Yep. Okay. That's
Um,
good. And then
and
now you have
then
access to four here. So what is like perfect here? That you play a four or that you do something else?
I think play a four,
It's like,
land and play a
I
four.
guess like before I move on, what are the best cards in your deck? Or like, what do you think of when I ask you, like, what's the best card, the card that always performs well, you love to
Uh,
see?
the the combat doublers, so Aurelia, Karlach, and Scourge of the Throne.
Okay.
Because Ishin makes them have three combats if they have vigilance, which would also be a weakness with specifically those cards. Um,
What, what was the other one?
Karlach,
Oh, yeah, Karlach. Okay, good. Anything else you think of non-combat doublers that like these are the cards that when I win, it's often as a result of these?
yeah, the attack opponent lose life, and I plus or minus I gain life. So attack based on the number of creatures. Um,
Okay.
Examples of that are Mishra and there's a couple of enchantments that I can't think of right
Okay.
off the top of my head.
Okay. Good. So, given that what you've listed here is all relatively high mana stuff, Mishra, Aurelia, Scourge of the Throne, Karlach, they're all 4+. Maybe we think about bolstering the number of 2-drop mana rocks to get us to this, because what I want to get to is like, what is the perfect curve out? So let's say Karlach, because he's 5. So how do we get to the point where we're playing Karlach and Isshin? Like, how does it math out? Do you see where I'm going with this? So we don't need to figure this out right now, but like, what I want you to be able to do is when you're mulliganing, to have an idea of like, how does this hand lead to that like perfect curve out that I envisioned or that we strategized? Because not every game's going to work out that way, but it's really helpful to have a goal in mind when you're mulliganing, because then you could say like, sometimes like weird hands will get you there for that reason, because you think like, oh, okay, like, you know, there's a path. And, you know, sometimes I hear people say like, oh, you never want to play like a board wipe in a deck like this that's very aggressive, because you're just going to knock out a bunch of your own creatures. But what I would say to that is, well, with a deck like this, like, is this sort of like setup really winning you games? I would almost say that something like this, while normally something that you'd look to do in constructed 1v1, where there's not 3 people to thwart you if you're starting to appear to be like very aggressive, and like they're like, oh shit, this guy's playing a creature on every single turn. Like, I just have doubts that these starts lead to wins. And I would say like, I would look more toward this sort of opening and turn this from an aggro deck into a mid-range deck, play a bunch of board wipes, like don't play any creatures on turns 1 and 2, and then like go board wipe and then start setting up. And then you can have a big turn. I don't know, like we're going to have to feel it out, but like that's just like, especially a bracket 3, that's really my inclination with a lot of decks, because it's just too hard to get through 120 life, especially when you become the arch enemy and you're playing an aggro deck. That just never works, you know? So you have to be like having this slower start and then like being able to sort of storm off and like go boom, boom, and like hit them with a board that they weren't expecting, you know, set up a haste engine, which isn't like hurting anyone. Does that make sense? Like, does that resonate with you? Like, and
makes perfect sense.
I guess before we move past this, like, are the games that you mentioned, you've been losing a lot of games with this lately, are the games, is there a common thread like from those games that you've lost? And subsequent question, like, is there a common thread from games you've won that you can remember, or some sort of pattern or trend?
I guess I have to think about the games that I've won, but the games that I've lost have been losing gas too fast, so spilling my board and then getting Blasphemous Act, and then, you know, being screwed with 2 cards in hand.
Yep.
Games that I've won, I would probably say were the ones that I made good use of the Aurelia, Scourge of the Throne, Karlach, those kinds of.
Okay.
Just because it's so overwhelming if they can't answer it. The other way I win, I've noticed a lot, is kind of with Myriad, which is an attack trigger. Myriad, like with the dragon from Tarkir that makes
Gold Triad. Yeah.
Yeah, that was one that I added very recently. I've noticed that has just been able to outvalue people.
Okay. So I don't know if I was like, this sort of leads me to think like, okay, you ended up with what I was wondering if you were going to say was like games where I landed a Smothering Tithe or something, because then it's easy to say like, okay, well, a mana advantage led me to winning that game. So this makes me think maybe because you had the Gold Lust Triad, you were making double treasures like 6 a turn or something. Maybe we
Yeah.
lean into more treasure making because that is the strength of these colors for sure,
Yeah.
right? So, and there's a lot of attack triggers based on that. So I think we should explore that too. Cool. Let's move on because we're already 25 minutes in. Actually, pretty good on time. Okay, so have you? So I copied your deck list to my account so I
Mhm.
could see all the types and tags. I didn't look at yours list. Do you have types and tags? Have you ever used them? Do you know what I mean when I say that?
Yeah, so I have a couple. A lot of the tags that you have, I also have because I went through your. You asked me about if I had seen the Edgar
Yeah.
Markov, and I actually went through that playlist, and
Oh,
so I got a
nice.
good chunk of them,
Okay, great.
laid out.
So I think the fact that you watched all that, like, that's going to be huge because um, that's a big level up. Like, just, and it's not going to come immediately, but I think the more you start adding the categories and the less often you have to do it too, because they'll be like globally assigned to every deck you make from this point on.
Yeah,
And then you'll start getting a feel for like where you're maybe oversaturated or undersaturated. And the more you look at these, the more you'll get a feel for that. So I think that's
yeah,
a really good thing that you got started with. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about that. I just want to look very quickly at your overall stats. And the three major categories I usually look at when I do this are mana, card draw, and removal.
hmm
So I think we'll just look at those really quick. Mana and ramp at 11. This looks great. I think you've got all the right pieces here. I don't always run the signets in
yeah. I have
a
I have slowly been cutting them out.
yeah, I mean they're good, they're still good, but like they, especially in a deck like this that potentially wants to play a one drop afterwards, they can kind of mess you up sometimes. But on the
Hmm
other hand, they can also be really good sometimes because in a color intensive like deck, with like a 3 color deck, they can help you when your mana is not perfect. So, there's pluses
Yeah,
and minuses. Sometimes what I'll end up doing is playing like the one that's the two most important colors to my deck. But I think we will determine how much mana and ramp we need once we take a look at some cuts and some ads and see what our curve looks like. But for now, this looks solid. Treasure Makers at 4 looks a little low, I think, because that's something
yeah,
I think is a big opportunity and important in these colors. So I might look to add there. Draw at 1 and draw engines at, so draw engines at 12 is great. This is a good number. Draw, I would like to see, and what I mean by the difference here is like an engine can do this repeatedly, whereas
hmm
this is like a one-time burst.
yeah,
And I lump, like Jessica's Will doesn't draw cards, but I lump this in just for ease of looking at, I still listen and play from exile just in case we have synergies that are caring about that. But
yeah,
really, what I want to know is like, if I'm going to lose the game if I don't draw a card here, like what are all the ways my deck can draw a card or at least something similar to drawing a card?
yeah,
And
definitely.
then removal, first of all, board wipes. Okay, so you have no board wipes. So I think that's a big opportunity here. And I think that's how you can automatically find more wins with this deck. Because
Yep.
even though it's like, here's the thing about board wipes and aggro decks. Like, if you're in a spot where you have a board wipe, but you don't want to cast it, that's great. Like that
hmm
means things are going well for you, I would say. And I think it's important to look at cards from the perspective of not like what's the best case scenario with this card, but more like what's the worst case scenario with this card? Because then you'll slowly start to eliminate the cards that are a little bit more like win more, and find the ones that can help you out of a mess. And I think that's what like that's an important thing, especially for aggro decks.
hmm
And then spot removal at 5, this definitely feels low to me. I like to see this number at least 8, sometimes more like 10 or even 15. So this is,
Okay.
I think, a big opportunity here. And then lands, I'll just scroll. I guess let's switch to regular types for a sec. 32, 33, this is fine. I think that makes a lot of sense. But what I'd like to see with this low amount of land is also some cards that help in the early game get through some like clunky starts. So,
Hmm.
you know, in blue, I love Ponder and Preordain. Like they go in every blue deck I play no matter what, because although they aren't strictly card advantage, they just basically replace themselves. They give you such selection. So we've got Faithless Looting in these colors. I actually don't love Faithless Looting, so I'm not going to suggest that. But there
Hmm.
are a lot of like good red 2 mana spells that I think make sense here. And also Night's Whisper is one I like quite a lot, and I play that in pretty much every black deck. And then by having those can like, you know, you love to see a hand that's like 5 cards and 2 lands and Night's Whisper. That's just like a great start. And even though like sometimes you want to be playing a mana rock on 2, that feels really good too, because you can oftentimes go like into turn 4, mana rock into Night's Whisper, and then that just really sets you up to have a solid mid game, especially if you draw into like, we add a couple board wipes and you're able to like set one of those up into developing a piece. Because the way I see a perfect start going to me is like turn 1 nothing, you know, turn 1 land, that's it. Like
Okay.
I don't, even if you have 1 drops in the deck, which I think you should, I don't know if playing them on turn 1 is like ever what I want you to be doing, because you know, like just relying on the perfect curve out into Isshin, into a combat doubler, like to win, that's just, how often is that going to happen? You know, like people like know to play interaction now, and they know what you're going to be doing. So I just feel like that is such a trap to try to curve out with an aggro deck in modern day Magic. It just
Yeah.
doesn't work. There's too many people playing board wipes. There's too many efficient board wipes. So I'd much rather see you go mana rock, board wipe, like a cheap board wipe, like, you know, Blasphemous Act is perfect because you play it for 1, 2 mana, and then you set up a 4 drop or something. And then
Hmm.
you're basically, it doesn't matter who went first, you're going first now because everyone's on page 1 again, except you started with a 4 drop and they just all lost their commander. So like that's how you win a game with a deck like this, I think. So
Okay.
like
Yeah.
turn 1 land, turn 2 mana rock, turn 3 more mana rocks. Like, you know, I'm a big proponent of mana rocks. Like you know, I would love to play non mana rock ramp, but that's just not possible in these colors. We could play catch up ramp. You know, do you know what that is?
Yeah. Like land tax
Yeah.
and
Well,
stuff like
land
that.
tax not ramp, but still I'm going to recommend you playing it because it's nuts. Um, but like Knight of the White Orchid actually ramps you, for example. So that's a great card in this deck. Even though it's not an attack trigger, it's just a 2 mana ramp, and that's great.
Hmm.
So anyway, like this is what I think makes sense to me, especially given this info you gave me, which is what I suspected. Like this is the way you're going to win. This or stuff like massive burn effects like Perforos or Terror of the Peaks, you know, stuff that is like,
Yeah.
this is fucking like bad news, everyone. Like, you know,
Yeah.
and in order for those to be successful here, I think you just need a lot of mana. And there's not, we're in red, so red I think can make a lot of mana, and I think we might want to lean into that. And treasure is going to be big. I think the, you know, treasure or like a treasure maker, right? I think like Black
Yeah.
Market Connections, best card in this deck, because it gives you an attacker, it gives you treasure, and it gives you more card draw. So like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's obvious Black Market Connections is great. Everyone knows that. But especially in this deck because it does everything that we want and really need. Okay, so I think you get that. So I just want to get started with changes because we have 27 minutes to make changes to this deck. So I'm going to just go really fast, but please stop me if you need me to slow down. So
Sounds like a
what I
plan.
want to do is show you what packages are. Do you know what packages are already?
I do.
Anyway,
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm going to show you anyway because I want it to be in the video. So I already set up, I already have a package called like best lands. So I want
Mhm.
to just, this is already my version, right? Okay, so I'm just going to cut everything. I'm not saying that these lands are bad. I'm just wanting to start from completely nothing
Yep.
and show you what I would do if I was building a brand new deck. Whoops. And I'm hitting Alt-2, which is the shortcut for remove cards. Okay, so I already have a package called Best Lands that I've created. So I'm going to go and just go to Add Best Lands. And it's going to be way too many. But and if you're asking me, Matt, how did you do that? Well, you just go to New, Package, and then you could add whatever lands you want there. So I'm going to show you the package, and I'm going to show you how you would create it. And I gave you this, if you want to just copy it exactly, you can copy all the ones I have here and make your own that's just like mine. Or you could find mine, it's public. I don't know really how to do that, but I'm sure someone could figure it out. So you would just create your own package if you wanted, though. Whoops. And then call it whatever you want. And then you copy all of them, you go to bulk edit, and you just drop them in here. I guess you have to do one column at a time because I moved it so all would be visible. But anyway, that's it. And then it's when you add them to the deck, it's not going to add the ones that are outside of color identity. So that's the nice thing. You can put every single land in there, and it's only going to add the ones that are applicable. Now, there's a slight problem with that in that, like, I think I took it out, but if you had like Yavimaya Cradle of Growth, technically
Mhm.
you could play that card in any deck, like even non-green decks, but you obviously don't want it here. So you're gonna have to go through and then like refine this a little bit, but I think this is a really good starting point. And then what I like to do is switch to types and tags and say like, okay, like what are the lands I don't want now out of the categories? So the Battle Bond lands are great. We're probably gonna keep those. Although honestly, like I've been not playing these as often, literally only because a lot of times I'm playing green and I need fetchable lands, and like I just need more and more fetchable lands that like I end up sometimes or pretty often cutting these, but that's crazy. Most people won't do that. um, Phyrexian Tower is an interesting one. Were you playing this, and what do you think
I
about
was
it?
not. No.
Okay,
I, in my opinion, I only put Phyrexian Tower in decks that care about sacrifice. Personally, um,
I think that's
not saying I'm not
reasonable.
open to it, but
Yeah, I think I don't know. Like it's 50-50 for me. I think if we have enough creatures that are like disposable or token makers, then we definitely want it, especially given that we don't care about necessarily playing Isshin on turn 3. Because if we do, this is much worse because then it can like stifle that or impede that. I'm going to put it in the sideboard for now just so we can look at it later. Spymaster's Vault, this land has majorly overperformed for me. I really didn't think it was going to be that good, but it's been extremely good in my experience. And in a deck that cares about double combats, I think this is a slam dunk because most times it's not going to do anything. Like I would say like most games you won't use it. So don't expect it to be like an all-star every single game. What's going to happen is that there will be a random game where someone's playing a sacrifice deck or just like a bunch of creatures died on a turn. It happens all the time. But your commander didn't, and now you get to connive 18. And it's like, okay, well, someone's dead to commander damage now, all of a sudden. So it just has such upside and very little downside because it can usually enter untapped. So I think this land's been a major overperformer for me. Fel the Profane, I think you probably had this in your list already. That's fine. Takanuma, phenomenal. Like,
yep.
never, ever don't play this card. So good. I wish it cost one less to channel, but what are you going to do? Urza's Cave, we definitely do not want in this deck, though if we were playing a deck that cared about any land, and black's actually good color for it, because fetching an instant speed Bojuka Bog is pretty debilitating sometimes, but I think, you know, in an aggressive deck like this, we don't want to bother.
Yep.
The channel lands I really like, probably all three of these for this deck. Iganjo is the one that I play the least often, but I think it's probably worth it here because we really don't want to get flooded. And I think this is nice spell option if we need it.
Yeah.
Ancient Tomb we're going to put in the sideboard for now. We'll talk about game changers in a minute. Last Step Quarry, we don't need this. I only play it when I need like a sacrifice outlet.
Mm-hmm.
Reacher City, possibly. Let's put it in the sideboard, but probably not. Urza Saga, definitely. Do you know about Urza Saga?
I do.
Okay, so we'll skip that. We're playing the duels, right? You're cool with that?
Yep, I'm cool with
Okay.
that.
All right. Okay, so you want this deck to be as powerful as possible. Normally, I tell people, and I've typically only play the on-color fetches, but in a deck that you want to play in a tournament, you should play as many as you can. Fetch lands are the best cards in Magic, period. Best lands, at least. And that is because they can fetch any color, right? It doesn't matter if you're playing an off-color Windswept Heath. Because this can get a plains, that means it can get any color, because a plateau is a plains mountain and a scrubland's a plains swamp. So we're going to cut the ones that are completely off color because they don't make sense, i.e. Misty Rainforest. That should be the only one. In a 3-color deck, there's only one that you can't play. And then Prismatic Vista is the bonus one that can get basic. We could also play Fabled Passage, but I don't like lands that enter tapped under any circumstances. Fabled Passage enters untapped usually, like after turn 4, but I don't think we need it. In fact, we might end up cutting a couple of these even, but we'll see. Arena of Glory, insane. Nykthos, I think we are not going to play, but I'm going to put it in the sideboard for now, just in case we have a major like bulk of one particular color. Shocks we'll leave in. Slow lands, these are great, really good. I just don't know if we will have room for them. I guess I'll leave them for now and we'll see how it looks. I don't know which of these I like better, the slow lands or the verge lands. I think I like the slow lands better. The verge lands like can be annoying sometimes, like especially if you're playing greedy mana base, which I always am. So I'm going to cut these for now, but we might look to add maybe one of them for the most important colors. Just remove this tag. I don't use that anymore. All right, Command Tower, obviously, Horizon of Progress. This is an auto-include in every deck I play. Same with this. All right, good. So we are at 35 land. That's fine. Start. And currently there are...
Question.
Yes.
What are your thoughts about the triomes?
I don't like them. I don't play them except maybe as a like 1 or 2 of in a 5-color deck. That... I just don't ever want a land that enters tapped. Like, I don't care that most of the time you're going to fetch it. I'm just, again, per my point earlier, thinking about the worst case scenario, which is like, oh my god, I need to top deck a land and I'm going to win. And then you draw the triome and it's like, oh my god, I'd want to die. So I don't like them. I never play them. I actually have been selling the ones I have because I just never, ever play them. And I never feel the desire to play them. The only time I play them is, like I said, a 5-color deck. And even then I'll play one in the like most important colors. Or if I'm like desperate for fetchable lands, I will sometimes play one.
Okay.
That's just my opinion. I reserve the right to be wrong about that. We don't add any basics yet, so we should definitely play at least one basic. So if we get Path to Exiled, we have something to fetch. I'll put one of each for now, but this is too many lands. We'll figure it out later. Okay, so that's how I do lands. You just saw it all. I probably like missed some random lands that might be good for this deck. We'll find those later when we look at like EDH Rex. Okay, so once the lands are done, I like to do the lands first, and then like everything else is easy, and you can like know really what the deck size is. I think so. Sometimes I like to do cuts first. Sometimes I do adds first. I think we'll just do adds first. So I'm going to go to the EDH Rex, which is going to look at your existing deck list, compare it to ones that have similar cards, and show you like recommendations. And this would be the best way to find new cards, but not like brand new cards. Sometimes this won't include the newest cards because it's going to show you the most popular cards, and the newest cards aren't necessarily the most popular. So what I'll often do, and we'll do this first actually just so I can show you, is I'll just look at the newest set or the newest sets, or sometimes I'll look at just this year. So I'll do like year greater than 2024. Then we're only seeing 2025 cards. Now here's the problem. Look, Sol Ring came out in 2024 in a secret lair, and like all these cards, like are reprints.
Yeah.
So then we could go minus is reprint, and then we're not going to see any reprints. Cool.
Wow. Okay.
Good. This is the card I was trying to think of earlier. So you already have it. That's good. Elspeth, no, we don't want Planeswalkers. This is a good card, though.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to go really fast through these, so stop me if you want to talk about any of them. And, you want to read all these, especially if you don't know what they do. But we're on tight on time, so let's add Sephiroth for now. I think he might be good enough. Let's just... Oh, you're not playing him. At least not in this list.
I added him like yesterday.
Okay, good.
So he wasn't in the original deck list.
Cloud is good, maybe. This card's really good, probably. This card is nuts. Maybe. This might be the kind of card we want to play if we like shift to more of a mid-range strategy. Although the fact that, in fact, both of these might be a little too contingent on the commander, and that could inform our decision about some game changers too. Like, I think we want to play Deflecting Swat anyway as one of the game changers, but for a commander who is not as important to have on the field, and also who maybe isn't always on the field for whatever reason, these lose value, obviously. So I actually want to put these in the sideboard because we're going to have to make cuts anyway. So if you can be a little more selective in this, that's good. And what we could do, rather than just looking through all these, is look for like cards that have attack triggers. Now, I don't know what the tag is for that, but I'm just going to open Tagger and like, what's a card with an attack trigger? Just give me any card.
Hell Rider.
Thank you. So I think it should tell us what... Oh, it's just attack trigger. Well, that was easy. So we could say, like, I just want to see cards with the Oracle tag of attack trigger. And I don't know why it doesn't give you the hyphen, but you do need it. So let's see brand new cards that have attack triggers. Well, this is pretty sick, but a little expensive. So probably not going to make the cut. Double strike and double combats. Woo! Talk about all in. This is the exact kind of card not to play.
Yeah.
Although, man, it's tempting, right? Especially as a Timmy. If we lean into a token strategy, this could be great, but I don't think we are going to do that. This is interesting.
Regalia? Yeah.
So we play... I'm just envisioning how this might work. If we play Isshin on turn 3 with nothing else, and opponents are like, lol, what is this noob doing? And then you're like, boom, the Regalia. Now Isshin has a car. What now, mofos? And then you ramp 2 lands. That's kind of good. I don't know. What do you think?
I agree. It also has haste, so that's...
Yeah. Exactly. I really like this card, yeah. 4 mana, 4/4 Death Touch Haste. Exile another creature. Oh, and then this attacks and make copies of it. This card's crazy. It's really powerful. Like, and it's actually like, I kind of like it because it lets you commit more to the board without like overcommitting, because it exiles a creature. Do you get it back? Right? Yeah, you get it back. So like you take away a good creature, but then you get copies of it every time this thing attacks. Multiple copies because of Isshin. This seems kind of cool. Like, it's not, wow, that was loud. There's going to be games where this feels a little dead, but I think the upside is high enough that it's worth trying. If it doesn't pan out and you're like, this isn't working, just cut it. It's hard to know how all of this is going to work in real games, but I like the potential advantage of this, especially that you can like commit another card to the board without worrying so much about getting board wiped.
Yeah.
See, this is not the kind of extra combat card we want in this deck because we're not going wide so much. We're just trying to present a couple of huge threats that are like, You know, the perfect scenario I think is that like you set up a board where opponents have to deal with it, but like it's only a couple creatures, right?
Yeah.
Um, I love this card, but I don't think it's the deck for it. When your creatures attack, they gain double strike. Yeah, that doesn't matter to double it. All right, I don't see anything else great. Let's just stop here. Now, I just want to look at regular EDH racks and see like if we're missing anything critical that I think is important.
Path and Swords was what I was gonna bring up.
I never play Path, honestly, like unless I have some way to take advantage of it, like I'm playing Catch-Up Ramp Package or Deep Gnome Terramancer's another one that like cares about an opponent ramping, and this can like trigger that. But Swords for sure. I love Swords. We should probably play Exotic Orchard too. Pretty much any 3-color deck you want this, I think. These lands I don't like. I noticed you were running them. I never play these because, again, it's like I envision the scenario where I need to top deck a land, and like these are actually okay because they usually come in on tap, but like it's those 10% of times where it doesn't that I'm like, ugh, I wish I was just playing a basic. And then the other ones is what I was actually thinking of are even worse. The Snarls, where you have to reveal a land. I hate those. Never play them. Always recommend that people cut those from precons. Just replace them with basics. This card is exactly what you described. Cares about number of attacking creatures. Is that what you referenced? Or
Yes,
did you
that's what I was
reference?
talking about.
Okay, so we probably
Because
want this, right?
there was a tiny I mean not tiny, it was a
Yeah.
tiny token package. So
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
was
that's what I
somewhat
was
effective.
thinking. So you maybe only have potentially one other attacking creature sometimes. But you said those cards are really good. Is there one that's good in that does triggers on something different? Or is it always about number of other attacking creatures?
Mishra is the only one I can think of that is a similar effect.
Let's just put
And
this
I
in for now.
believe he's uh, he's pretty much the same thing. Yeah, sword is what I was thinking on this page.
Yeah, the only thing is like I don't want to play basics.
Oh, it's basic? That sucks.
Yeah, it might be worth it anyway. Let's just put it in the sideboard. Caesar's great. I think he's
Yeah,
perfect. This is a card you want. Like this is a game winner here. You just start like making a ton of tokens first and then like burning everyone. Oh, yeah, this is devastating. Actually, you know, if you get one attack off with him, because all you have to do is play Isshin turn 3 and then play Caesar and then attack with Isshin. Oh, you have to sack a creature though. Okay, so you'd have to go 2-drop into Isshin into Caesar. You sack your 2-drop. You pick modes 1 and 3. You make 2 1/1s. Then you have 4 creatures. You burn someone for 4, and then you make 2 more 1/1s, and then you burn someone for 6. And that's the like worst it can be. Seems real good.
The problem I was having, Caesar used to be in the deck. The problem I was having with Caesar was exactly that, where I usually had to choose if I wanted to sack Isshin himself. But I think that can be remedied by better deck building, if that makes sense.
Okay. Esper auto include unless you are on a budget. This card's just like makes Brina. Come on. Why no Brina? Brina's so good. We need to go faster. No more talking. I feel like I keep making these sessions longer and it's still not long enough. I love Karazakar. I think this card's so good. And I think it's good in this deck too. All right, do you have any land destruction? I think we want at least one of Generous Gift, Chaos Warp, or Sundering Eruption. Ooh, Arabella. I don't know. Maybe. We'll see if this makes sense. This card's really good. Yes. Yeah. What does this do? No, who cares? This has a bunch of infinites, so if we want to just go for infinites, I think this makes sense. Like playing Godo. We'll look at that in a minute. Urborg, no. I would say play Urborg, except that I don't like to give opponents swamps, because that could be really bad for you.
Yeah.
What do you think about this card?
I think I never put it in because Double Strike seems obsolete, for lack of a better word, in this deck.
Interesting. Okay,
Like
I could see that.
that's what I'm saying. I'm usually before this deck was a bunch of 1/1s, so giving 2 1/1s Double Strike doesn't really.
Okay. Oh, Facebreaker. That's what we want. Yeah, so I think we want to look at Treasure Makers. So let's just do that real quick. Like, we definitely want Grim Hireling. Oh, you're not playing Black Market Connections. No. Yes. Definitely. Possibly. Oh, this card. So broken. So broken. This is not good enough. Alright, that's fine. Alright, we have too many, so let's figure out what we're cutting. So, I actually like the amount of ramp you have. We added one piece, right? And then I think Knight of the White Orchid is a good one.
Land Tax was another one you mentioned.
Yeah, I don't know if we want to add enough basics to make land tax playable. That's the only problem. Especially since you're like, okay, if you were like, no, I don't want to play the duels because they're out of my price range, then I would much more be interested in playing land tax. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, so let's take a look. I think we've got 35 minutes left, so I want to try to do this as fast as possible. Curve looks great, low on ones, but that's okay. I think we want more, at least one or two more board wipes to try the plan I was suggesting. We don't need a ton, but like Blasphemous Act for sure, Toxic Deluge for sure, the like best of the best. Blasphemous Edict, I like it, but not for this deck, I think. Just because we only want like the absolute best here, because we just want to be able to play a board wipe and like ideally develop something afterwards. So like these really cheap ones. And Edict is not 1 mana frequently enough to be worth it, I think. Getting the 13 creatures, it happens only like, I'd say 10 to 20% of the time I end up casting it. I pay 1 for it.
Yeah, okay.
But Vanquish the Horde is the other one I was thinking.
Okay.
It's sort of like Blasphemous Act, but it costs 2 usually. There just need to be 6 creatures for that. That's pretty easy to accomplish usually. Okay, so where are we cutting? I think I'm just going to run through and cut cards that immediately bother me. This card,
Yeah,
I want to like it, but not good enough. Yes, for sure. Baylor. I know doubling it's great. If we double it, yeah, I just don't think this is good enough. What do you think?
I put Baylor in after you beat me with it, so
Yeah.
I'm a Baylor noob, so I don't really think I have much to say about him. So I honestly don't think I've drawn him yet.
He does it on attack, so you double that. Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's too slow. Is this really good?
Yes, I feel like that's one of the better Myriad ones.
I think this is good enough, even though we're not caring about tokens that much, because it's like a 2 mana Adeline. And it triggers on your commander attacking too. So like the second part, who cares? Like we'll just ignore it, right? But I think it's good enough. Okay, this one's 4 mana. How about this card?
That goes with the token strategy. So that only works with a bunch of, and it seems like we're deviating away from the tokens and more toward.
I'm going to put in the sideboard and we'll see. Lannery.
Treasure Maker.
Yeah, it's just 3 mana. I don't know. Maybe. This is cool. It's Draw Engine. Yeah, we'll leave that for
Battle
now.
3.
I
Isshin's also 3 power, so it kind of
know
works out.
if we want Cloud. Probably not. Okay, so yeah, I don't know. If I cut anything and you're like, wait, don't cut that, it's really good, just let me know. No. That's good, really good. Lately I like, oh shit, well, maybe. I don't think you need this.
Yeah, you can cut that.
Let's just cut this for now, it's too... Is this that good?
That wins games. The problem is he doesn't have natural haste, so he's part of the reason why I said haste was so important.
Okay,
But yeah, he will win a game, just straight up.
okay.
I
This
think that can be cut.
yeah. How about Viper? Let's cut the Viper, I think.
Okay.
Don't love this. Probably don't want this, but I don't know. It's so good. The great thing about Sephiroth and Blood Artist is like you can like overcommit and not even care because like you're like board wipe me, I dare you, kill all of
Yeah.
you motherfuckers. Might leave that. This I don't like. This is kind of good. It's just like huge burn. Surgo I like. That all looks good. All right, we're at 30 minutes remaining, so I'm going to try to... Let's cut some land, so... I think we want to run like 34, 35, something like that. Let's just cut... What do our color distribution look like right now? Pretty even. Looks like we have too much black. That is always what happens. And then second, the color we need the most is white. So I think we cut black, red stuff. So like, let's cut Raucous Theater. We'll just play 2 Surveil lands. I think that's okay.
Okay.
We'll cut Haunted Ridge. The Surveil lands are like just so good because it's like a turn 1 play basically when you're fetching a Surveil, and that it's just feels really good. I think we'll cut Prismatic Vista and we'll cut Swamp. We're at 35. That's good. Okay. So we have to cut 19 cards. So let's just finish going through. I want to look quickly at mana value. So we're at mostly 2s and 3s, which is good. Kind of a lot of 4s. I think we need to cut 4s, 3s, and 2s primarily. Okay.
Okay.
So Boros Charm, don't care for this card.
Yeah, I agree.
Just don't like it. Anguish Unmaking is like, it's really good, but I'd rather play a spell that can deal with land, like Chaos Warp or Generous Gift. And also, you definitely want this card because it's insane.
Yep.
Chroma's Will.
That's an card for me, personally.
Oh, that's so good. But I think it's like, with a deck like this, you're winning on board anyway if you have a board that is good with a Chroma's Will. So it doesn't make sense in this deck, but I wouldn't skip over it in other decks. I'd give it another look. I don't really care about this card. We'll make sure we have enough protection. Okay, T-Pro. I guess we didn't even talk about Game Changers. So you've got Smothering Tide, T-Pro, Jessica's Will, Deflecting Spot. So the ones I'm hesitant on are Jessica's Will and Teferi's Protection. Smothering Tide, definitely. nothing will set you up to win like that card. Deflecting Swat I think we need in this because we just don't have that many good counters, and that is like basically a counter. So let's just move this to sideboard and Jessica's Will to sideboard. And then we'll look at our other options in a sec. Okay, let's put that to considering. I just don't like I like this card, but the thing is with this deck, like I think if we're in a situation where we're wanting to cast this, we're losing. And like this isn't gonna stop us from losing. It's like, oh, like I'm out of gas, and then you draw this and you're like, oh, at least it's not a land, but like this isn't helping develop your plan. Like every turn that goes on where you're not doing something active is like one turn closer to doom. So that's why I don't like it here. Although, like, you know, if you watch my like best removal for black, it's very high in the list. I just think, yeah, anyway, you get it. Okay, I don't like equipment. So I was looking at the infinites for this deck, and there's not, I mean, like, there's not really that many good ones. I think the best ones are Aurelia Helm, Godo Helm, Combat Celebrant Helm. All of these give infinite combats. I don't know. How do you feel about having these? I don't know if it's worth playing this card because like it's so committal.
I was gonna say the same thing. They're cool if you pull them off, but
the best one is
like,
Godo because he can fetch it for him and wear it himself. But you need haste too.
Yeah.
And we don't have that much haste, right? Like we could add more haste, but and in fact we probably should add more haste. Like what do we have? We have Arena, Lightning Greaves, Rising of the Day. I want to look at how many legendaries we have. I think we should add the dog during whatever. Courage?
I think it's courage. Yeah.
Yeah. I like dog.
What about Fire Crystal?
I like that card, but I don't know. We don't have good enough ways to discard Dragon Tempest. No. I actually really like this card because it's pretty often you just need one turn of it anyway, and it replaces itself. Like it's early game, just like trick. You know, I don't know if it's worth adding, but maybe try it like at some point. I like let's just go with this for now. I think 4 sources is okay. I don't know if we have enough red cards for Fire Crystal to be worth it. Let's see.
Okay.
We have 19 right now, and then some multicolor. It could be, but I don't know. For 4 mana, I think I would prefer you to play Ruby Medallion, or whichever medallion was the best, but I don't think you should play any of them. Unless you, like, rebuild to focus on one color, which is not a terrible idea since you have so many options anyway. Let's cut the Rakdos Signet. This card, I think, is not good. Let's cut that. Let's cut that. These all look good. All right. No.
So the vigilance ones were because of the combat doublers. You'd get 3 combats, but on the
because it doesn't untap them. Yeah. That makes sense. Okay, are you pulling that off often enough that you find those worth it?
No.
Reconnaissance
Usually
is great.
2 combats. Usually 2 combats is enough. So.
Okay, and you have reconnaissance, so just you know that works. This seems highly cuttable to me, but I just want to get your opinion because you mentioned cards like this are really good. Okay, I like it, but 5 mana.
I agree.
What about this?
card draw
That's
engine that almost never goes off, if I'm being honest.
good. Good, because I don't like it. This card's crazy. What about this? I'd say cut it, but do you like it? Has it been good?
That and the Revenge of Ravens do the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's cut both of
Yeah, I don't
them.
think either of them
I want
really
a
play
more
a role.
active plan. I
Yeah.
don't think we want this. Although I do like Arena still. I think it's, people say it's outclassed. This is just trash. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Trouble pairs is good. And this is good. Okay, we're almost there. Let's look at types and tags now. Actually, let's quickly look at mana value. So we're at 18, 18. Love to see it. 15. Probably want to cut some 4s, but let's look at types and tags real quick. 10. All right, a lot of draw engines. We could probably cut there. Let's just sort by mana value. All right, so what is not great here? We need to cut 4s. Let's cut trouble in pairs. I like it, but I'd rather play creatures that do it, like all of these.
Yeah. I think I put Trouble in Pairs because it is technically an attack trigger sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
but
Oh,
I agree.
oh, interesting. That's cool. All right, we need to cut 2 more cards. Let's look at the mana values again. Anything standing out to you in terms of cuts that you've seen?
Sephiroth,
Okay, I
that's kind of the
agree.
main one,
What about from
just because I don't
these?
feel like I'm going to be able to use him to his full potential.
If I forced you to cut one of these 4s, which would you do?
Which fours in the I guess Iroas or Hellrider. Those would be my two picks.
How often does
Menace is
this, like,
nice.
wait, are we playing Dolmengate? Oh, we are. Is this worth it? I think it is. I'm just, I don't know. I
I
don't have a ton of
I think it
experience with this
is
card.
the that's a huge problem sometimes is you have to attack. So
Mm-hmm.
what happens if everybody's board is bigger than yours?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Ooh, you know what we should add? I don't want to add more cards, but Taunt from the Rampart. This card is so good.
oh yeah.
Love
Wow, I
it.
didn't even think of that one.
Yeah. Okay, now we have to cut 2 things. Way to go, Matt. How many extra combat things do we have?
Honestly, if we're not working with a lot of tokens, so you could probably cut Mishra and um, the other one that I forgot the name. Commissar. What do you think about those?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right.
I don't know how many more.
Let's
How
try it.
many like? Okay.
Okay, cool. So that's how I did it. Sorry, it was a little rushed, but I think like it's not an exact science, you know? And
Yeah.
sometimes like you can't figure it out and you just cut random things like that and then you'll find them later and be like, well, let me try this again because after we do some playtests, we'll have a better idea. So any questions? If not, I want to just jump into Mulligans because we've got how long left? Oh, forgot to start this timer. So I don't know, about 25 minutes or so. I'm fine
Yeah.
going over a little bit if you are.
Yeah. Let's go playtest.
All right, let's do it. Did that all make sense? I know you had a lot of questions about deck building that felt a little fast, but like, did you feel like you missed anything from that or?
Honestly, I had 3 questions written down, and you answered all 3 of them. So
Sweet. Excellent. Okay, cool. Well, let's take a look at this. I want you to give me your thoughts, take your time. There's some new cards here, so if you're not familiar with them, make sure you read them and really, I'd rather you spend a little extra time and be a little slower and think about it and then tell me if you like the hand or
okay.
not and why.
Could you hover over the land in the middle so I could read that one?
Is that
Thank
easier?
you. Yeah, that's better. Okay.
This
I
is a reflecting pool that can like draw you cards later. You can also drop a land in sometimes.
okay. I would keep this.
Okay, why?
Because you have the 2-drop with Lotho followed by Lelia.
Do
Vanquish
you
the
have a
Horde
two
is
drop?
Lotho.
Okay,
Oh
but
yeah, it's
can we
you
cast
need black.
Lotha? Yeah. I think it might be keepable anyway, but given that we don't have black, do you still think it's keepable? I'm not trying to push you in one direction or the other. In fact, I'm going to ask questions like that often, and it's not trying
Yeah,
to like lead you. Just want you to know that.
I think going to a second 7 would be better. If I was going to maybe 5 or 4, I would keep this.
Yeah,
Because having Lelia with 3 lands is nice, and Lelia is probably going to get some good card draw.
yeah, I agree.
Um,
I think I'd keep this at 6, but probably toss it at. It's too bad. Like if we draw black, Lotho's such. It's like the best, but
mhm.
yeah, it's a shame. So this is our second 7.
uh, I think I would keep this because Delta or Tarn for Surveil.
Mm-hmm.
Get that.
Mm-hmm.
Next play Felwar Stone.
Mm-hmm.
The following turn 3, we'd have enough play a land, and then we'd have enough for Emberwild.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Um,
100%. This hand looks incredible. Like
yeah.
I would love to see this hand. Like looks amazing. Yeah, let's see play it out. So what land are we playing? Does it matter?
Uh, I don't think so. I guess Delta.
I
Um,
think also like I think that Tarn makes more sense because we want to fetch a red land, right? I
yeah.
think because we have the vault and the red is the only color we're missing, so I think it makes sense to play this. I don't
Yeah.
know. It probably barely matters. Okay, I'm just going to leave this in play. We're going to pretend we surveilled. So what are we doing with this card?
I would bend that. We have
Easy,
enough lands
right?
in our hand.
Yep. Okay, so what are we playing here?
We are playing a land, so I guess Vault or Exotic Orchard. I don't think it
Yeah,
really matters.
doesn't matter.
Felwar.
Cool.
Uh,
Easy,
Exotic
easy, right?
that.
No options here, so we don't need to
Yeah.
spend a lot of time.
And then this turn we have a decision because we
I
can
guess we
do
draw an
both.
extra card, right? From Monarch. Oh wow, we're getting
Yes.
flooded. All right, let's just stop here. This hand doesn't go anywhere at this point without knowing more about the board. But yeah, unfortunately we got flooded. At least we have Takanuma, and hopefully we still have Monarch. Okay, so this is first 7.
Eh. That we have 2 lands into a Signet,
Mm-hmm.
but you had said the Signet. We don't have anything to follow up the Signet with. Uh, I would probably see a second 7.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Um, I don't know. So like, if we play it out, you know, we could start with. We probably want to start with the Urza Saga just to get it going, and that means on turn 3 we get a Soul Ring, plus we get a burst of 3 colorless mana essentially, right? Because with the Saga floats 1, and then we get 2 from Soul Ring. So
Yeah.
that means on turn 3, if we drew a land, then we have 6 mana that turn. At which point we'd probably want to play like these two. I think make a ton
Trinko
of
World Leader.
sense together, right? And these together are so powerful. Like these two into Isshin just kind of win
Yeah.
like by themselves.
Yeah.
So I think this hand has enough upside that I would keep it for that reason.
Okay.
I think it's important. What you're doing is good, like looking at the lands and the first couple turns, but maybe just look one more turn in the future, because
Yeah.
seeing like these 2 cards and their power together, especially given that we can go into this next turn and like having all of these tokens have menace is huge, right?
Yeah.
because then they're 2/2s with menace and you have a ton of them. That sounds like deadly, especially into Aurelia late. Like this seems possibly quite good. So let's see if I'm right. Like let's try it. Ooh, cool. All right. Play that, do nothing. All right, what now?
Verdant.
Mm-hmm.
Into a untapped land, so not a
Okay.
surveil land.
All right, which one?
Orzhov's. I would get the red white one.
Yeah, that's all we got, right?
Yeah. But we couldn't get that because it has to go for a swamp, right?
Excellent point. Maybe this hand wasn't
So
good because of that. We need double red for
I
this.
guess
Yeah.
it'd be red because we can get the white off of the Orzhov signet.
Oh, true. Okay. So this is
Eh,
black red.
yeah. Um,
Anyway, whatever.
so
Let's just
yeah.
try another one. I think you were probably
Uh,
right. Like looking back, I think tossing that might probably made sense. I don't know. If we drew any land, I don't know. Hard to say.
yeah. This one is this our first 7 or second 7?
First 7.
Okay. I think I'd toss. I'm kind of worried that I'm being too liberal with the tosses. If I'm with
Def-
the
Definitely not. You've been right on. Like I don't have any that I've disagreed with you on yet. The last
I
one I
would toss
did,
this
but
one.
like now, after thinking about it a little more, I'm thinking you were probably right. And I think you're right to toss this one too. I think though my mentality is, and I think the mentality to go with is like your opening hand needs to be like really strong if you keep it. Otherwise, like go for go for something really strong and then you could start settling after that.
Hmm. This one doesn't have anything to do till turn 3, so
Yeah, that's a
that's a
problem.
that's a
I mean,
problem.
that's not exactly true because the surveil on turn 1 is something. It's an
Yeah.
action and it's sort of like drawing a card potentially, but yeah, definitely not worth it.
I think this is a keep.
Yeah, this hand looks great. This is
Hmm.
exactly the kind of hand I was talking about when I said like when I was talking about it earlier, like you set it up, you ramp. If you don't need to deluge, you just play angels on turn 3, but otherwise you deluge into angels. And the only problem with this hand is we don't have card draw, but like this draws cards, right?
Yeah.
I think we might want expedite, honestly. It seemed like the more I'm looking at these hands, the more I'm thinking like that would be really good in a lot of
That's the
these
one mana.
spots. Yeah. Um, Maybe we cut a land for it because it's just a 1 mana cantrip anyway, and it seems like we're
Yeah.
flooding a little bit. But oh, let's play this one. Well, it's even worth playing these out. I don't know. I'd rather just see more hands. I think it makes more
Yeah.
sense to me.
Me too.
All right.
Next.
Yeah.
uh,
Do you know what Brina
keep.
does?
Uh, Hover over it. Active opponent. Yeah, kind of takes the flack off of you. Um,
I didn't. One thing I didn't think about is does this give opponents double draw? I think it
yeah,
does, right?
it does.
Maybe
Yeah,
we don't want that. I mean, you get the draw too, but I don't want. I mean, you're getting double +1 counters on Brina in that case. Like, or you're putting 4 counters on for them drawing 2. Usually, like, I used to play Brina as the commander, and people just stop doing it eventually because, like, they're just dying to Brina. So, like, doubling it sounds bad, but I don't know if it's actually that bad because then all of a sudden she's a 5/7 from the first time. And
yeah.
then like she's a 9/11. So I don't know. Test it out. You might want to cut it, but like it, you also get to trigger it too. Plus, opponents are really bad at actually using it. You can draw up to 3 cards from it. No, more life. No. You can only draw up. I guess if I think there's a way to draw 2. Whenever a player attacks one of your opponents, if that opponent has more life than another one of your opponents. Yeah, so you can only draw max 2 because only 2 opponents will have more life than another opponent at most. But you can draw up to 4 cards as long as you attack the 2 highest health opponents. Does that make sense?
Okay.
And opponents
that
can
makes
do the same, but a lot of times they don't pay attention and they won't do it. And if they do, you get to put a bunch of counters on your guys, so not so bad.
Yeah. So I would keep this
Mm-hmm.
hesitantly, semi-hesitantly, because nothing
Mm-hmm.
to do till turn 3.
Mm-hmm. Is this second 7? I forgot.
This was second 7. Yeah, we had that horrendous hand last time.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really good. I think I probably would too. I don't know if it's right, but Brina's so good. So is Zergo. Yeah, like you got such good quality cards here, like that I think, and a Surveil. So I guess I like it. Let's just take a look and see how it would play out.
And yeah.
So many 3s, annoying. The Deluge is nice though, actually, to draw.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess like what, you play the Deluge, I think if it makes sense here. Otherwise, I don't even know if it matters or we can know which one makes sense of these to develop.
I guess if we're struggling for cards, Lelia and or Brina, if we want to start setting up, we go for Zergo.
Maybe we don't want Zergo. I don't know if we want him because we don't have any sack outlets, and that's what really makes him good. So I think we maybe cut him for another haste enabler, like Expedite or probably Expedite. Let's do that. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Did you want to cut a land as well? Because I think we flooded in like 2 different
Yeah, let's do
practice.
that. Let's see. I think we cut. What do our 1-drops look like? Esper, Ragavan. This is not really. What land to cut? Let's cut a fetch. Maybe like, what is the color we need the least? Black? Let's cut the like off-color black one, like Verdant, or what's the other one? Polluted Delta. Which one's more expensive? Verdant. All right, let's try that. Oh, we can add something. I feel like.
What mana value would we want to add?
That's what I was just thinking. I would love to add 1, like a 1, but I just don't. Let's see. I don't hate Reanimate, honestly. That seems like a decent option.
Do we have a game changer slot? We could do Vamp Tutor.
That is a really good point. Yeah, I like it. Great idea. Interesting hand.
Yeah. My gut is telling me don't go with 1 land. Ragavan being there, this is a toss for me. What do you think?
I kind of like it. I mean, like, here's the thing. Like, if we miss land drop next turn, well, if we open with Soul Ring and then play Black Market Connections next turn and miss land drop, opponents could hose us and like destroy the Black Market Connections. But if they don't, then we have another setup play we can make in this, and then we can vanquish the Horde, and then like we're like in such a good spot there. It's definitely risky. Here, well, if we open with Ragavan and then miss land, and then we make a treasure, then we cast Soul Ring, and then we can cast Black Market Connections anyway. Yeah. I kind of like it. It's definitely greedy. You have 2 shots at drawing a land. But if you miss...
You
I
could
don't
also
know.
do a surveil for the red-black one.
Yeah, but that's never... I don't think that's ever the right play. Oh, I guess if we find a land, then we still get to play Black Market Connections next turn. Don't know. Definitely close. Let's just go with your decision.
I like the first one better.
You know, I think you keep this hand against some combinations. If opponents are playing like a bunch of mid-range decks, this hand might be a keep, but like,
Yeah.
I think into an unknown board, we just have to go to 6. But like, I don't know, this hand's bad. What about this one?
That's a key. This is a 6, right? We're going down to 6.
This is 6, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what would you bottom here?
I'd probably bottom Plains, Blood Crypt, Arcane Signet. We'd have 3 mana if we don't draw land.
Mm-hmm.
If we do draw land, we hit Tectonic Giant. I think I'd bottom War Leader's Call or
Yeah.
Caustic Bronco. Just because if
Oh,
we have 3 mana,
never
we could do
this.
Isshin.
I think... I don't think you ever bottom the Bronco, because like this can draw us out of like land troubles, right? I think it's one of these two.
Yeah, I think it'd be my gut is War Leader's Call, just because if we
Yeah.
have 3 mana, we can use it on Isshin.
Well, we don't need an enhancer right now. Like, we just need this hand to get to a stable state. So that's, I think, very much a point in the favor of this. So let's just try it. I think, you know, obviously we just play the tap land. And then here, what would you do?
Her Plains Arcane Signet.
Okay. What about playing Bronco?
Yeah, we could do that. I'm hesitant because he doesn't have haste.
Sure, but like, if we play Bronco here, and then we go to our next turn, and well, that was lucky.
There's no
but
haste.
Like, whatever. Let's say we don't draw that. We still play Isshin here, and then we saddle, and then like hit everyone for 5, and draw 2 cards. Okay. Seems real good. Opening 7.
Okay. What do you think about Felia? It's kind of been removal for me more than anything.
I was gonna say that. Like, I like that it's flexible, and also, well, how many like ETBs do you really have? I think I'd rather like play a mana rock. Like, I feel like what I'm wanting to see out of these hands is just more mana rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
swap out.
Let's try cutting it. Do we need this card either? What if we just turn this into like control deck, you know? Like, that's what I'm feeling like makes the most sense, kind of. It's just like, let's cut this. I know I just added it, but I don't know. Cut that. Okay, let's try this. Oh, how many legendaries do we have? I was going to check that. Ragavan. 3, 4. 6. Kind of a lot. Okay, Rising of the Day looks fine.
Yeah.
Let's just add back all the mana rocks that we cut. Active Signet. No more good ones. Oh, I know which one we can add.
Ah, yes. I just pulled that.
Oh, congrats. All right, let's add like some kind of draw. Like I like demand answers. Yeah, let's try this.
Okay. I think that's a key.
Okay, why?
3, so land, and then another, so next land next turn
Mm-hmm.
into a talisman.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the following turn we'd have 4 mana.
Mm-hmm.
We could do talisman and then Kellogg.
Mm-hmm. And then what?
Then, depending on where we draw, I'd be choosing between Isshin and Dolmen Gate.
Mm-hmm. I don't think this is a key. Like, if we draw land only, we're pretty boned.
Yeah.
I just, it's too much nothing. Like, the Kellogg is not going to win us the game. It might steal something, but, like, it's only temporary. I think it, you know, it looks fine, but, like, this hand potentially, like, has a lot of ways it goes bad.
Yeah.
And for an opening 7, I just want something a little bit more guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. Makes sense.
Second 7.
I don't think I'd keep this as a first 7, but since we're going down to 6 after this, I think this is a keep.
Mm.
So
I would
land. Go ahead.
I would toss it. Like, I I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Like, this hand could be good enough. It's, you know, a way you could play this hand. Like, I guess, what land would you start with here?
Urza Saga.
Okay, so what I was gonna suggest to think about with this hand is that you don't play Urza Saga turn 1. And the reason for that is Urza Saga has a chapter 2 ability that's actually pretty good, and we have a very artifact heavy hand here, right? We've got 2 artifacts, and we have Grim Hireling, which makes a bunch of treasures. So we could play this a turn slower and then make two constructs off this.
Okay.
You see what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we open with Surveil Land.
Yep.
Bin that. And then we here play Saga.
Arcane Signet.
Yeah, Arcane Signet Reconnaissance, right?
Yep.
And then here we need 2 mana for this, so all of that is reserved. So the Signet's actually great draw here because it means we can go. We can't use the Saga, right? So we go play this, tap 2 for Signet, and then we have 2 mana to make the construct. Right?
And the construct would be a 2.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, 3.
It counts itself too. And
Yeah.
then we go to our next turn, Saga goes to 3, but before we sack it, we use it one more time, not to float a mana, but to make another construct.
Okay, yeah.
And now these are 4/4s, and we have, unfortunately, we're one. Oh no, because we're gonna get Soul Ring too. So then we
Yeah.
play Grim Hireling. We can only swing with this guy, but he's a 4/4, and then we make 2 treasures, and now these are 6/6s.
Yeah.
It's not great.
He'll have vigilance as well because of reconnaissance.
Right.
Pseudo vigilance.
Yeah, it's not perfect, but like it's a plan. It might have been better just go 6. Like I don't know. This is starting from scratch here. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, I would keep this.
Yeah, seems great, right?
Yeah.
All right, I think
Surveil, fetch, yeah, Lothar.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. I think we're about at time. Hopefully that was helpful. Anything that you want to talk about before we wrap up? And I can always answer follow-up questions, on the deck or help you continue tinkering with it. But I hope this leads you in the right direction. It's hard to know. You're going to have to play it out and like kind of report back, and we can always refine from there. But what do you think about the like idea at least?
Well, I think it's a night and day difference from the pile of jank that I was playing.
Okay, good.
If I have any more questions, I mean, I'll just...
I
don't have any right now, but I'll just...
Forgot about Final Fortune. Let's try that. Let's put in Final Fortune.
Oh, yeah.
So test this out, and we'll cut the thing I just added, demand answers. Yeah, so see how this works. And like sometimes you're gonna have to like roll the dice on this because you won't know exactly how it'll play out. But like there are those games where you just know like someone's gonna win on the next turn. So just go for it, have fun. I hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, have a great night.
It was great. You too.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
By supporting me on Patreon, you help me toward my dream of quitting my day job and opening my own local game store. You can earn credits that you can use toward in-depth and detailed deck reviews, one-on-one coaching sessions, custom tokens, and more. Thanks for your consideration. I truly appreciate your support.